all the time. In the heart, in the heart, all the time. Okay. Gets my blood moving anyway. Hope it does yours.
It's a good place to be all the time, right? Good morning, everyone. I'm Nancy Ennis, and I'd like to welcome all of you this morning, and I believe there's something we all have in common this morning. We set our clocks ahead. What do you think? Things will probably be happening a little later in the service today as people wake up and discover what has happened. So are y'all a little sleepy today? Yeah. It's easier to go the other way, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, well, let's give our music team a great big thank you for getting us in the heart this morning as we begin our time together. And we have Ronnie and Kate and Cindy, and we have Tina and Doug and Greg and Jake, and everybody's here this morning to help us celebrate. So glad you all are here this morning. So who's here for the first time? Anybody? No, they're all sleeping. Okay, we know where they are. And today I would like to welcome all the people who are joining us on TV. We're glad you have joined us. We're glad that you're with us. We're glad that we're back with you. So we invite you to join us on Sunday morning. We're here for a celebration every Sunday at 10:30. So let us begin our time together this morning with our statement of faith. And you'll find that in your program or on the screen. And we'll take that together. There is one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. Then let's take that within for a few moments. Let our attention go deep within, into the experience of that living presence that dwells within us. The one power, the one presence that's good. So feel that goodness that is God within us. That love that is God. That joy that is God. That peace that is God. It's all there for us right now. We have everything we need to live a life with meaning and purpose, fulfill our sacred purpose on this earth. So as we feel it now and as we know it, we join together in our time this morning in celebration of God, celebration of all of our blessings, and celebration of our time together. So we let go this morning. We let you be in charge, God, of all we say and all we do. We stay in our heart, and we listen, and we follow. And so it is. Amen. Then let's join together in our mission statement, and we're going to have to be really loud on that bold word today that describes us, so let it out. Here we go. We are a vibrant community dedicated to celebrating spiritual freedom, sharing abundant joy through love, prayer, and service. Welcome. So we're going to sing again about prayer and praying, and then we're going to go down by the river.
My heart go deeper into my God. When this next song talks about not resisting what comes your way in life. How many times have you said, I didn't need that right now. This thing was going good here, and then this came, or that person came, and I didn't want that. How many times do we all do that? It's really better not to. That's all I'm going to say. Listen. Don't resist the flow. Don't resist the flow. Don't resist the flow of the river. Do not resist the flow. Please don't resist the flow. Don't resist the flow of the river.
Our daily word message for this morning is, I am an ambassador of peace in the world. Ambassadors of peace practice love, kindness, and patience. Because I know the way I view others affects my interactions with them, I focus on the peace and presence of God in each person I meet. My thoughts, words, and actions reflect the love of God within. In meditation, I center my thoughts on peace. I move consciously toward being a peaceful presence in the world as I fully embrace this divine power. I may not be in a position of worldly power, but I have the power of love within me. Love is uplifting. Love fosters harmony and peace. I am an ambassador of peace, making a difference in the world, through conscious acts of loving kindness. And the Bible verse for this morning is, depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. Psalms 34, verse 14. Again, I'm Sandy Ritter. I'm your chaplain for the day. I will be across from Cafe Unity in the prayer room for anyone who wants to celebrate or receive support and prayer after service.
When I was a boy, each week, Sundays we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we learned about the time Moses split the sea in two. Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still. Now I just can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything's here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, it barely wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath. It's like swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. But now I walk it with the reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. See a questioning child's face, say it's not a testament, that'd be hard to say. See another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament, I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, saw a little red-winged bird, shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. Well, it made me bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Yes, it used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down. But now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Thank you.
Good song. Wow. Great. All right. Well, Well, I didn't know about the time change till sometime last night. If I hadn't heard somebody talk about it, I wouldn't have known about it. So I'm sure everyone's still adjusting to the time change. We had our first Course in Miracles class this morning, and I thought nicely attended, and we're looking forward to it. So we have that at 9 o'clock on Sunday mornings, and you that want to get up that early and come and be with us, we'd love to have you. And also we're changing the Wednesday night to 7 o'clock. It was 6 o'clock, which is just too early to fight traffic and to get here, so we are going down to 7 o'clock. And then on that, it's a third Wednesday when we have the healing. We'll just join in with the theme of the healing night with Nancy, and we want you to come and get that midweek charge. And it is that kind of a service. It's very inspirational, and we do singing, we do speaking, whatever the Spirit wants us to do. All right, this morning, a little different for me, but I was very much blessed and touched by a recent issue of Time magazine that just came out this week called The Mindful Revolution. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this movement or not, which is gone worldwide, and also found it to be very much a part of here in Charlotte. Did not know it. So I was very drawn to just talk about this as maybe something that individually or as a community we might be interested in joining with this movement. Things are coming in from a different direction. Not everything is going to be accepted within the context of a so-called spiritual or religious context. And this seems to be a movement that has gone beyond the boundaries to reach everything from corporations to the Fortune 500, 400, whatever it is, whatever that one is, and other things. And I thought it was just absolutely fascinating. And the article began by something that I wanted to do, to experience before I could do this talk this morning. And it started with the simplicity of taking something like a raisin. So I took a raisin and just put it in my mouth and just let it sit there and enjoyed the raisin consciously. I felt the texture of the raisin. I just kind of was very mindful of what I was doing with this raisin. And it's a tremendous experience to be conscious and mindful of something. I just wonder how many things throughout a day that we go through that is so reactionary that we really did not get the true essence and experience of it. Walking the spiritual path that we all are on in New Thought and Unity and Course in Miracles and all of these are teaching us that every circumstance, every situation, every person, every encounter has a meaning to it. And that's what being a metaphysician is all about to me. It's the ability to go beyond the outer externalism of something to find out the essence of all things in our life. And this is how this article started out. And I thought that's strange, but I thought I can't talk about it unless I have that experience that this person is talking about. It was the first time in my life, and I love raisins, and I eat raisins. And I just throw them in and eat them as fast as I can, just to get the taste, just to get it done. And that's the way we mostly eat and do everything. But it was the first time I personally experienced eating a raisin. Consciously. The texture of it. It was an amazing experience. This movement, which is called MBSR, if anybody is aware of it, is mindfulness-based stress reduction. It is developed in 1979 by John Kabat-Zinn, an MIT-educated scientist. there are nearly 10,000 certified MBSR instructors teaching mindfulness techniques in nearly every state and more than 30 countries. Now, I'm reading this thinking, I know nothing about this. Why don't I know about something that is so large and crossing so many boundaries that is making such an effect upon people? We as human beings have learned to multitask. We can watch TV, some of us, text, pay bills, or even order our groceries while stuck in traffic. In time when no one seems to have enough time, our devices allow us to be in many places at one time, but at the cost of being unable to fully inhabit the place where we actually want to be. Mindfulness says we can do better. And I do think there is a better way to live life. And we're challenged. We're challenged in this particular environment that we're living in today. But you have to understand, coming from myself, being of the generation that I'm of and the age that I am, I have been somewhat resistant toward all this technology. Still don't know how I feel. I'm trying to become technological friendly. And I know that we are moving into it whether we want to or not. Even in our business of Soma Energetics, to be able to stay above water with it, we're forced to move into doing things a little differently, having more online classes and using the computer to reach the world at large, which has its pluses. But it takes new training, it takes an investment in new technology and instruments to be able to attain to that. And then there's the thing of old patterns. We humans, if we have nothing else to leave, would be our ability to adapt as human beings. We are a species of survival. That is what the Homo sapien is. We can say we have survived famine, we have survived wars, we have survived and survived, we have passed our genes down and survived within our offspring. We are survival. But I personally think that actually this began in the 60s. I think that something was leashed in the form of a new energy that began to stir up things, and we began the great revolution of this culture, moving us and evolving us out of 10,000 years of reductionism in which everyone was pretty much put in their box. And as long as everyone stayed in their box, we interpret that as peaceful times. That's why you that are in your 60s or so can always remember the 50s as such a great time of rock and roll and sock hops and going to the soda fountains and the Dairy Queen and, you know, the simple times when the worst thing that you did was sip a beer and maybe puff on a cigarette and get to second base. I mean, that was living it up. You had crossed the line. But something happened in the 60s in which people who were placed into certain positions didn't want to be in those places anymore. The city in the South that I was raised in Oklahoma, there was two sides of town. One for the white Caucasian and the other for the African American. Across the tracks. And as long as people stayed on their side of town, there was racially pretty much peaceful. As long as people took their place. Women had their place. They had been trained and taught to grow up and marry and please their man, take care of the man, have the children, stay at home type thing. And women decided, I have more to contribute to society than just being what the cultural role was. And women began to enter into the workforce more, begin to educate and empower themselves. Gays were in the closet. Everybody was somewhere. As long as you stayed there, it was fine. But the 60s did give us a little push. What I'm getting to is when these times happen, which it almost brings a revolution of chaos. It appears to be chaos because it's chaotic to redefine yourself and to begin what you have not adapted to. Because what we've adapted to, we're familiar with. And we like things that are familiar. We're comfortable with what is familiar. And when we become familiar with something, we know with what doing something within 21 days becomes a habit, for instance. But we begin to create neural pathways in our brain, which are like little pathways. As long as we stay on that pathway, we're comfortable because we've done it and we've done it and we've done it and we're comfortable. In the Bible, that's called a familiar spirit. It means only staying in that which is familiar to us. I constantly push myself to stay out of the box. Constantly, I'm reinventing something that I would not ordinarily maybe do because I don't want to get caught in the box. I was born out of the box, and I'm glad that I have had that experience. What I'm saying is these times that we're in now that we're being challenged are times for opportunity for conscious human evolution to take place. We mustn't become complacent. And I'm speaking to myself, but I must stop complaining about the changes that are going on and how complicated it is and how difficult it is because it challenges me to feel like I'm not totally in control in this world of technology. But it's an opportunity to push ourselves a little bit and to move forward. There is a better way. And we can do much better. But I believe that it starts with becoming mindful. By becoming more aware of the present moment and less caught up in what happened earlier or what's to come. How much of our energy has spent in our life regretting what we did or did not do in the past? How much of our energy and consciousness we spend thinking about what we're going to do in the future? And I did the very simple little message a few weeks ago on free beer tomorrow. And that was my point. It was a simple idea, but really, in one sense, yes, there will be another tomorrow, but another tomorrow will be another today. Every tomorrow is a now in our life. Being mindful helps us to become conscious human beings. Many cognitive therapists commend to its patients this idea of mindfulness as a way to cope with such things as anxiety and depression. Meditation has made a new way into this movement outside of the spiritual community. People who would not come to a church or to a spiritual community such as this have embraced the idea of meditation under the teaching of mindfulness. I think that's wonderful. I don't care how people get it. They don't have to come and get it the way I do it or the way I believe or the context in which I do it. We just want to reach the world. We just want to reach everyone in the world that is saying at some deep level, there is a better way to live life on this planet. Meditation is considered now within this movement an essential means of a way to achieve mindfulness. The ultimate goal is simply to give your attention fully to what you are doing. So just stop for a moment and be mindful of sitting in your chair. How mindful were you until I said that? Were you mindful how your feet were, your legs crossed, your shoes off? Are you mindful that chair's holding you up? I mean, that's faith. You have no, that may be a defective chair that's ready to fall with you, but you didn't even think about that because you trust the fact if I sit in this chair, it's going to hold me up. Are you mindful of the environment you're in? Are you mindful? I happen to think this is a very nice color that's in this room. It's a very healing color. Blues and greens are wonderful, heart-healing colors. Did you notice it? You ever notice the color in this room? Because it's affecting you. It's a frequency. It's a vibration. Are you aware? What are you wearing today? Why did you pick out the color that you picked out? You that picked out greens, maybe at some deep level spiritually you were saying, I need balance in my life today. I want to dress with life and prosperity and for blessing. You that have blue, maybe there was an unconscious need for speaking your truth and expressing yourself, which you can do through singing. That's why we would offer singing in these meetings, is a way that you can use your throat, which chakra, which is blue. So it has purple on, which means we need to be intuitive. That we chose to be a more intuitive human being at this particular time. You that have orange on, maybe you need a little more spice in your sacral. Good day for spiciness. Red, you need to be rooted and grounded today. I believe that everything is our story. Everything is telling us something, but we're not mindful. We think we pick out something because we like that color or because I didn't know what to wear or whatever. But there is a reason at the unconscious level for everything that you're doing, and it's affecting your life, but we're not mindful of life. It's going by so quickly. So quickly. To view mindfulness simply as the latest self-help fad underplays its potency and misses the point of why it is gaining acceptance with those who might otherwise dismiss it as another New Age modality to meditation, when it has actually entered Silicon Valley entrepreneurs, Fortune 500 titans, and Pentagon chiefs and more. Don't give up on these systems. Yes, they're in chaos. Yes, there's greed. Yes, there's things going on that we do not agree with. But that's not the whole story. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. There is what I call spiritual plants or seeds that are seeded in every system that is out there. Yes, even the political. You cannot say all politicians are this, all medical doctors are that, all preachers are like this, based upon a few or because of what the media is feeding your mind with. And this is why I was so impressed with this, that this is going on in things that I would put aside and say, well, that's just another greedy corporation. It's just another bunch of people that's just out for power and money. But in the midst of it, something is going on, and they're meditating in their conference rooms, in the back rooms, and trying to become mindful. Let's work with them energetically. That is our place as a spiritual community, is to feed that which is breaking through, not what's breaking down. Direct your intention today to what is breaking through. Although meditation is considered an essential means, and it's just a means. Now, you got to understand, you that meditation is not a goal. Oh, I mastered it. I did it. I actually had 3 seconds I didn't have a thought. I'm there. I'm now a true meditator. Meditation is a means to achieving mindfulness. The ultimate goal is simply to give your attention fully to what you're doing. Example, your work, parenting, learning, eating, listening to others. My God, we need to be more attentive and aware of listening to other people. We got the talking thing down. We got the art of speaking and talking and complaining and everything else, but we don't know how to listen and hear each other. We interrupt with each other. We don't even let somebody get a thought out because we're already thinking about what we want to say. Come on. Be mindful of walking. So I did this around my apartment. How my heel just hits and my foot moves, and what's going on with these feet that carry this big old tall body around. Mindfulness. It's the most amazing spiritual experience one could have. I know that yoga has to be mindfully done. Tai Chi has to be mindfully done. But they don't have to be just a class we go to for an hour or so. We should bring that practice into our everyday life. Mindfulness is rooted definitely in Eastern philosophy, especially in Buddhism. And when I was teaching philosophy of Buddhism here for 6 weeks, I think I learned more about mindfulness than I've learned all the 50, 60 years of Christian training. I don't know that anyone has ever taught me, or I heard a sermon in the traditional religious Christian church on mindfulness. In fact, it was almost the opposite. To give your mind away. And we will be aware for you of what things are. But 2 factors set it apart and give it a practical veneer that is helping propel it into the mainstream. Kabat-Zinn and others have decided to avoid the talk of spirituality when exposing mindfulness within this movement. You know, you don't have to say you're spiritual to be spiritual. We don't have to use spiritual terminology to be spiritual. It's not our words that makes us spiritual. It's the life and the life we're emanating that makes us spiritual. So I'm not against that. I'm not against the fact that they've chosen not to use the same language that I might use in my teachings whatsoever. And I'm willing to look beyond even that and stretch myself, which I'm attempting to do this morning a little bit. Baby steps. Instead, they advocate a common sense approach. I like that. People have said to me years back, how in the world did you get out of such a traditional, fundamental Pentecostal background, being raised in a family of preachers and ministers? And I said a lot of it was just sitting down and using common sense. When I would listen to these messages of the first part of it was that God was love and God is loving, and then I heard about a loving God who put people in hell forever, and common sense said to me, something's not right there. I didn't need somebody to tell me that. I didn't need to hear that teaching. It's just inside myself was some common sense that said something is not right about that picture. And that was my beginnings of moving me forward and out from being stuck in that particular mindset whatsoever. Instead, they advocate a common sense approach. Think of your attention as a muscle. As any muscle, it makes sense to exercise it. In this case, it could be meditation. And like any muscle, it will strengthen from the exercise of awareness. Practice the presence, we say. Practice the presence of God. In your busy world, you have 5 minutes a couple of times a day. Course in Miracles says, just give me 5 minutes and a little of your willingness. That's not asking for a lot. That does not mean we have to go and climb a mountain and get in a cave and meditate for the next 5 years to attain enlightenment. It means if you'll just open the portal of your heart, if you will open your mind, I will be there to guide you and fill you with the spirit of mindfulness. A more powerful factor in winning over skeptics is what science is learning about our brain's ability to adapt and rewire. And I've been fascinated with this. I read a wonderful book of a neuroscientist who went to Peru and learned to be a shaman. A neuroscience doctor, very successful, goes to Peru and learned shamanism and brought it back to his practice. And I read his book, and what he was introducing is something called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is a scientific proof that we can reroute the brain and rewire it. If our illness or sickness is coming from somewhere in a neural pathway in our brain, then we can cure our illness by changing and rewiring that complete neural pathway and rerouting it by reopening other neural networks in the brain that has never even been used. You've got 100 billion or so of neurons. Most of them have never been used yet. And that's why we get caught into habits and whatever, because we keep looping the same thing over and over and over because we become so familiar with it, we lay with it and take an identity with it until we think that's who and what we are. We are sick, we are alcoholic, we are addicted, we are this, we are that, and we even have groups to go to confirm that. I've never found a group, Nancy, not one place that ever came together to just say, I'm just here to have a good time. Nothing brought me here that is an addiction, or nothing brought me here that had to do with anything psychologically depressing. I'm just here to be together and see what happens and just celebrate life. Where's that group? Here. Please do not take that for granted. I want to keep telling you that, if nothing else. I mean, I went a dry spell for a lot of years before I came here. You know, I mean, I'd come here for a weekend, but to move here and to be a part of something has been a lot of years for me that I've gone through a long desert of not being able to be around people that have this type of spiritual mentality. And I do not take that for granted. Thank you, Nancy. Thank all of you. The art of mindfulness is gaining traction with people who might otherwise find mind-body philosophies a tough sell. The NIH, which is the National Institute for Health, report found that Americans spent some, get this, $4 billion on mindfulness-related alternative techniques in 2007. Now, the reason I want to do this is because if you're here and you're a little lost about what you should be doing, and you're looking for something, I'm exposing to you a large field that you might be interested in, I don't know, to become a part of, in the sense of taking the classes that are being offered, maybe going to certification, and becoming a part of teaching mindfulness in your community and into your areas. I looked it up here in Charlotte, and I wrote down some things, if I could find them, who was doing it. Myers Baptist, is that Myers Baptist? Myers. Yeah, Myers is offering it. There's a doctor who teaches it. There's two people here in Charlotte that has this. So what I would suggest that you, if you're interested at all, is just get on the internet, if you can, if you know how, and just type in the name of this the initials of this, which is MBSR. That's all I did, Charlotte, and I was amazed what came up right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So let's end this morning with 5 steps to a mindfulness meditation. Is that all right? Just put your feet flat on the floor, if you will. I know. And be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. I know everybody says that. Everybody says breathe. Everybody says put your feet on the floor. You know, you got neurons for that. But don't do it reactionary. I want you to do it because you are planting your feet. Now, we're probably a cement floor here, I assume, or whatever, but it doesn't matter because the electromagnetic fields of the earth is coming up through here into your feet. So you're still connecting with the earth. We can call it Mother Earth if you'd like. Be mindful of that. Are you mindful of Mother Earth? Food that she supplies for you. What she's going through right now with all these changes that are going on. We need to be more mindful of the earth. We need to more and more, when we can, put our feet on the earth. Take off our shoes and socks and stand on the earth. Maybe our back to a tree. In some of the teachings of the Essene Gospels and so on and so forth, Jesus went and taught by the tree because he called the tree his brother. Be mindful of your feet, feeling the energy of earth coming up. Feel your bodies for just a moment so that you can go past it. Feel the energy moving up your legs to your coccyx area. And now feel the energy coming down from Father Sky. The energy of planets and stars, moons, suns that are penetrating into our earth from above, coming in through the crown into the pineal and pituitary gland and moving down your body at the spine and meeting Mother Earth at the coccyx. Father Sky and Mother Earth coming together. I want you to take your hands and put it in your lap and put them down, your palms down for just a moment on each leg. And I want you to cross your right hand over to your left leg and your left hand over to your right leg, so you're crossing. I want you to do that about 3 times. 1, 2. We're going to couple the right and the left part of the body and the right and left brain together. Keep your back straight and let your shoulders drop. And now you're going to be very, very aware and mindful of the breath of life. Slowly take in the breath through your nose if you can. Hold it just a nanosecond of still point. Open your mouth and effortlessly let it go. Notice how easier it is to let go than it is to take it in. That is to remind you that when you're ready to let go of something in your life that is no longer serving you for your highest good, that is not aligned with any agreements or contracts that have been made previously or during this incarnation, is effortlessly let go by the exhale of the breath. Breathe in, hold it, and let go. At the conscious, unconscious, subconscious, physical, mental, and emotional level, let go. Fear, worry, concern, money matters, health, worry over your children, parents. Be mindful of this present moment. Close your eyes if you wish. And notice your breath. You don't have to change it and consciously be breathing in, breathing out. Just be aware of your breath as it takes its natural rhythm of breathing. But focus on the sensation of the air moving in and out of your lungs. Thank your lungs. Honor your lungs for what they do to keep you alive in these bodies. And as thoughts come into your mind and try to distract you from your breathing and from acknowledging and being aware of your breath, acknowledge those thoughts. In other words, just, I know you're there. It's okay. I'm not going to fight you. You're not my enemy. That's what you do. You come and you go. You come and you go. Just part of the chemical makeup of the brain is to constantly fire out about 60 thoughts a day. And that's okay. I agree with my adversary. Quickly, lest he bring me before the judge and cast me into prison. I'm free about that. Be mindful not to judge yourself or try to ignore distractions. Your job is simply to notice that your mind has wandered and bring it back to your attention and back to your breathing. It's okay if you drift. Even though some of you have done this many, many times, may you do it today with a new awareness and mindfulness that you've never done it with. And take this forward from this morning and start doing this minutes a day, even for a week. Don't become overwhelmed. Just make a commitment that I will do this every day for a week. And the more you meditate regularly, the easier it will be to keep your attention where you want it. We just stay in this very quiet, soft space. As you are there, listen to these words that come from Psalms 8 and 4. What is man that thou art mindful of him? Our Creator is so mindful of you and has given you that attribute from the Creator is in you. It is part of your divinity. It is part of your spirituality to become a mindful person, not only toward the things of spirit, but toward those in your life, in your world, in your jobs, in your relationships. How can we do this effortlessly and easily as found in Philippians 2:5? I repeat, let this mind be in you, which was in Christ Jesus. If you're going to let something happen, it's already there somewhere. It's not by your works. Just let that same mind be in you. Isaiah 26 says, "Thou shalt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on the divine, because the divine, or God, trusteth in thee." Being mindful is being godlike. Excellent. Ready? Just take your time and bring your awareness back. Closing today this message, it gives 3 mindful tips. It says if you wear a watch, you will avoid picking up your phone to check the time and won't be needlessly distracted. And I do that because I don't wear a watch often. I got a watch on here, it's not working, just for looks. But you know what? So I'm forever having to look for my phone to find what time it is. You know, it's always on the table beside my chair or whatever, and I knock over this and I knock over that trying to find my phone to turn it on. It says maybe it'd be better to wear a watch if you do and be able to know what time it is without going through that. No phones in bed. Fully awake up before you look at any devices. Make sure you're completely awake and aware and mindful before you start using and running to check your emails and start texting and doing all of that. The third thing is get into nature. Take a hike, observe your surroundings, resist the urge to take with you at all times some device. Learn to be without it. And you know, it's hard to do. Even me, I mean, I'm used to my phone. I'm used to having that. Know that I have access through the telephone. And if I forget it, which I do sometimes, I feel so disconnected. But what a wonderful opportunity to be mindful of being away from this technology, a time of restoring our hearts and our minds and our spirits in this way. So, if you're interested, check this out. It might be something you might be individually interested in seeing, and maybe we need to do more research what's going on here in Charlotte in the sense of this new movement that seems to be reaching a lot of people beyond a lot of boundaries. Because actually, you can't be not become mindful and not become more spiritual in your awareness. I can't see how you separate that whatsoever. All right. It is time to be mindful. I want you to give an offering in the most mindful state you've ever given an offering. Be mindful. Be mindful in giving your offering. Let's all say together the offertory blessing. It's on the screen. And say it with awareness. Divine love as me multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. So it is. Give, 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 give. Ain't no troubles and heartaches. It ain't all misery. There's more to life than sorrow and pain. This world's been good to me. It ain't all troubles and heartaches. It ain't all misery. There's more to life than joy in this world. So open your eyes and see. just open your eyes and see. All right, let's get it out. It ain't all troubles and heartaches. It ain't all misery. There's more to life than sorrow and pain. The world's been good to me. It ain't all troubles and heartaches. It ain't all misery. There's still a lot of joy in this world. Just open your eyes to see. Come on now, and open one more time. It ain't all troubles and heartaches. It ain't all misery. There's more to life than sorrow and pain. The world's been good to me. It ain't all troubles and heartaches. It ain't all misery. There's still a lot of joy in this world. Open your eyes and see. Come on now and open your eyes and see. Why don't you now just open your eyes and see? One more time. Open your eyes and see. Bless everyone.
So continuing in the spirit of mindfulness, we'll bless our offering today. Be very mindful of what this offering means to Unity of Charlotte and what our contribution today meant to us and to our heart for our spiritual community. So we thank you, God, for this wonderful time together this morning. We dedicate these tithes, these offerings today to your will, to your work, to your way, to Unity of Charlotte, and all that you are calling us to do in the world. We dedicate ourselves to that service, and so it is. Amen. Couple clippings in closing. The prayer box is here for you. It will be in the lobby with a prayer request form. If you fill it out, it will go to our silent prayer team and then on to Unity Village for another 30 days of prayer. Also today, our healers will be Reverend Sybil and Reverend Maggie. And today they'll be in the prayer room, and your chaplain, Sandy, will be in my office. And that is because after the service, everybody is invited to stay and set up a room in the inn. And our guests will be in the Fillmore room and in the Unity room today. So that's where we'll be working, bringing things out of here into where they go. So if you can stay, we appreciate your help. So it's time to close, to stand, hold hands, and sing the peace song. And again, we'll try our prayer of protection in the new way. One verse, and then we'll claim our responsibility in it. The peace song. Feeling that peace within us and taking that peace out into the world through us. Our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The presence of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless.